Tom Brady outlasts Tua Tagovailoa. I think I messed it up. So Tom Brady, two sides of the spectrum. Tom Brady is maybe facing a divorce. Our old girl Giselle hired divorce lawyers. What does that mean? I don't know. And Tua got his shiz rocked on Thursday Night Football, and the doctor who was the head guy in Concussion, the movie Concussion that Will Smith played, came out and said that he should retire based on how bad his injury was. So now there's two parts to this. I kind of just tied the two together, and they're not really together. It felt fun. But Tom, do you think Giselle's really going to divorce this man, or is she just playing is she playing the game? There's no way, right? There's no way you leave Tommy B because he wanted to play an extra football season, right?
No. And not to mention that, dude, they have an empire of wealth. I mean, they have properties everywhere. They've got just it. I don't see it happening. She's just posturing a little bit. I think that this is last year when he retired for a week, and then he was like, "Screw those kids, I'm going back." She took it a little bit rough. This is a little bit, but she's just putting her foot down, and she's showing that she's going to be serious about it. I don't think it's a real long-term thing, provided that this is Tommy B's last year.
That's an interesting take. I didn't think of her like that's like she's putting that out there to show her that that's her last play. Like I'm hiring them. We're gonna get everything up. If you play games with me and you play one more season, I'm not even gonna bother calling you. I'm sending it through.
There is.
Now there is a part where it's like nobody's come out and said anything and kind of defended it, which kind of puts it into play. I mean, Tommy and I, we're like this. Like I call him Twom. You know, like I feel like I know the guy, and I just don't see him, allowing this relationship to go by the wayside. But it's Tommy, it's Florida boy Tommy now, right? It's not New England Tommy where you hang out you get tucked away for the winter, and you snuggle up next to your boothing and you snuggie.
He didn't do that. He went to Florida.
No, I know. I'm saying past Tommy, right? Florida Tommy, okay. Right? He comes out. The guy's got leather skin now. He's got the chin, the jawline's coming in because he's been doing some plastic surgery. The hairs are flowing. Okay, we saw the party boy Tommy kind of lets it loose now. He's got Bill Belichick down his throat, throwing a couple tutties to Gronk. Maybe Tommy boy came in here and is like, look, Giselle, you bad, babe, but I'm Tommy time. Okay, and now he's out here living Florida boy life. And Florida,
what that means.
What? What's that?
Go ahead. Go.
And I think just I don't know. Florida boy Tommy might be maybe he's just kind of having a good time and doesn't really care about Giselle. I'm gonna play football till whenever I can, and if you don't like it, you can kick rocks. Okay, I got plenty of cash. I got plenty of cheddar. I got another wife that's taking care of my son on Monday and Tuesday. You'll take care of my other kid on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I got the weekend for the boys. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but I don't know. I just find it crazy to me. You put up for this long, and it's like the guy plays football. Like you got to respect his passion. I mean, the guy's what 45. You have 50 years left, Giselle. I mean, and now right. there is the side of like maybe 3 years ago. Giselle was like, hey. 2022, that's your last year, right? You're done. And he was like, yeah, absolutely, babe. Absolutely. But things change. And I think
2021, yeah. After the Super Bowl, like, oh my gosh, honey, this is fantastic. You won the Super Bowl and we're all done with football, right? Right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. I'm going to retire. Hey, everybody. This is, it felt like the oddest retirement ever, right? Like, where's all the grandiose of this guy, like, staging something, like getting the NFL involved, getting his agent involved? Like, guys, this is it. This is when the GOAT retires. It wasn't like that at all. He's like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna retire.
I think. Look, marriage is a two-party system, right? I agree with that, and I think sometimes one party makes a decision that's going to negatively impact the other party. You don't just pack up and leave when it gets tough, Giselle. Okay? The guy is giving you. I mean, you got a lot of money too. So look, maybe that's what it is. Maybe we can't relate because they both have so much money. Maybe it's just I want to just spend time with you. But it's like, what am I going to just hang out with you for the next 50 years?
Yeah, let's just stare at one another and like talk about emotions.
Ugh, it's just ruthless, my guy.
Now, what's crazy is that if they get divorced, like she may legitimately have to pay him alimony. I just want everybody to understand.
And maybe that's why Tommy sees it. He sees it too. He sees an extra.
Where are you going to go?
He sees another Fox deal coming into the paycheck, and it's Tommy time in St. Pete with an extra $200 million from old girl. I mean, the show goes.
I just want everybody to wrap your head around that, people. Like, she would have to pay him alimony.
The other time that
so much more.
The other time that Tom got a divorce, the last time Tom got a divorce, which was a long time ago, Tom went 18-1. I'm not saying to go put your bets down on Tom, but I'm saying to go put your bets down on Tom.
Yeah, but he also had Giselle on the side. Giselle was the side piece.
Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I mean, no, that's exactly what happened. He left his. He was dating Giselle when Bridget Moynihan had his kid. Like, that was like their first 6 months of their relationship. So it wasn't like he got a divorce. He got a divorce to go be with Giselle. So
sure,
that's a solid something in your back pocket. But hey, let's talk about the other thing. Is
Tua.
Tom having fun playing football right now? They're 2-2. They're 2-2, and Tua will be around. He's going to stick around. I think Tua's playing football longer than Tom is at this point. Tom's got to step away from the game at some point.
So the reason I brought the Tua situation into play wasn't lasting out Tom. I think he will, but for that guy to come out after we know what that guy stands for and his belief in the concussion system and why the game has changed to what it is. They have the doctors on the sideline now, which Miami fired. They wear the little cushiony helmets now during spring training, right? They do all these things to help prevent the concussions because all these players have come out with, just the issues after the fact. And there was one part, and again, I'm probably going to get burned from this, but the one side that keeps getting overlooked is the player's decision, the player's call on to continue to keep playing. So everybody was mad at the doctor and everybody else for allowing Tua to play on Thursday Night Football. But Tua has a decision too. And you're like, well, he's a football player. Of course he wants to play. Okay, then but you made that decision. Am I crazy here? Am I missing something? It wasn't, if you're like, oh, he wasn't in the right mind. Well, everyone who talked to him said he was in the right mind. You can't always make that call, right? Because if they hold him back and say, hey, what if the doctor goes to Tua tomorrow and go, you're not allowed to play anymore? Medically, I am supposed to tell you you can no longer play, and the NFL decides we're not going to allow you to play anymore because if you do, you could possibly kill yourself or this happen or XYZ happens. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to be an uproar. People are going to lose their mind, and they're going to roast the NFL. So there's no winning here for the NFL because everybody wants to make seem like the NFL is the bad guy, and all on board for that. But at what point does Tua make the decision of I probably shouldn't be putting myself into this situation? I had a big hit. If I get another one like these, I could lose my ability to walk or do anything. And if you go out there knowing that, cool. But if it happens again, they're going to roast the NFL for saying, why did you let the guy play in the first place? This guy, the concussion guy, came out and said you shouldn't play. At what point do we hold the players accountable for making these decisions? Is my question.
Well, look, I mean, you don't hold the players accountable. The players are professionals. This is their livelihood. This is their career. This is how they make their money, right? So what is the player going to do? You know what? You're right. I've had a bad headache for 6 straight weeks. I'm going to give up my $14 million a year salary. Of course you're not going to do that. That's the whole point of the doctor, is to be the middle ground and to tell the player, dude, you can't keep doing this. The player's not going to give up the money. They're not going to do it. They know when they're going through the concussion protocol on the sidelines what they can and can't say. They know they can't say my head hurts. They know they can't say my neck hurts. They know they can't say certain things. And what do? Of course, they say what they need to say. It's my back. It's my back that hurts. Oh, okay. Well, get back out there, kid. The doctor needs to be a doctor. Like, if it was you or I, Shelton, and we were going to a doctor and we got the snot rocked out of us 2 weeks in a row within 4 days of each other, they'd probably tell us we shouldn't go back out there. But you
Steve,
and I go to
if
a
that
job
was the
every
case,
day, so
if that was the case, if the doctor had to make the decision week in and week out, you know how many Qs you have in your fantasy football lineup today? Do you see all the Qs? You know what Q stands for? Questionable. Do you know how many questionables we would have and how many doubtfuls we would have if they held everyone to that standard? Because you can make the argument for the entire body. But guess what they do? They snapped that boy with a shot, said, let's buckle up, boys, and let's ride. Because that's what it was. We're playing football.
Your ankle is different than your brain. It's just different. Your ankle will heal.
I understand that, but if you have a back problem, you get hit in the back the wrong way and you go paralyzed. If you've got a knee problem and you get it blown out the wrong way because it was already weak, and then you end up like Alex Smith and you possibly lose your leg or possibly your life because of an infection, I could tie it any way you want me to tie it, Steve. My point of it is, I get what you're saying, is the player's always going to want to play, but if the doctor does what you're telling them to do, which is hold somebody accountable and say, hey, you're not allowed to play, we're going to be pissed because they can't play. And then nobody's going to watch the NFL anymore because all the best players that get their shit rocked don't play anymore because the doctor says, hey, you got hit too hard, so you can't play for the next 2 weeks. I'm telling you, it's a lose-lose situation for both parties.
Tell Derek Thomas that. Tell Junior Seau that. Tell these guys that. Like, they couldn't handle what they went through because they didn't ever get somebody who was brave enough to tell them, take a step back. These guys... You don't know that. Real. You don't know that. You have no idea that somebody go, hey, I probably shouldn't play, and Junior Seau slams his head up against the locker room and says, yes, I can, and rocks and rolls. And again, I understand that. Like, you're doing a great job. It's a typical argument to use the sad stories of the ones that passed because of the trauma that they caused from it. That was a great move there. I like your political play there. But that's the end result of like what could happen. I hear you. And now there is a place where it's like, hey, I'm telling you that you should not play. But at the end of the day, the players and the coaches and everyone around them are going to want them to play, and they're going to want to play. You would do it, Steve. You would do it. And you, just like you said, you would play too. Even though the doctors told you cannot play. You cannot play knowing what the risk is that's involved. You would still play. And I would.
Because you're not at
would.
the end. Even if you did talk to Junior Seau and he goes, hey, don't do this, you probably would still make that dumb decision. It's the same reason why 18-year-olds make dumb decisions every day, even though the parents tell them not to, because that's just human nature.
Look, and again, this will be, and this is why the conversation is such, it's so robust, because everybody can say that there's one side that's right, one side that's wrong, and nobody's gonna ever like just get in the middle and be like, well, maybe we can fix it. The problem right now, I think, is that the protocol is wrong. The protocol and the way that they go about evaluating a player on the sideline immediately after a potential injury is wrong. Now, long term, that could be a whole different conversation. Right now, the instant protocol on what happens to a player is completely flawed. Completely flawed.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that part. I agree that that could get better. We're kind of getting too much in the weeds. My point is, at what point, though, do you hold? Because you can't just say the responsibility all falls on the doctor. That's the only thing that I'm saying. Because if the doctor has the argument of like, nope, you can't play, then everyone's going to get pissed at the doctor anyways because it's like, it's too soft. It's not football anymore. It's just I think the player has to have a say eventually. And I think, look, you're taking a risk when you go out there and play. That's all 100%. I'm saying. All right,
yeah, all of them fun. Do it. So I'm with you on that.